Welcome to the Green Room, your backstage pass to the world of surfing. I'm your host, surf MC and commentator Terry Tappa, diving into epic wins, crushing fails and wild stories with surfing's biggest names, as well as the legends working behind the scenes to keep that stoke alive. A big shout out to our sponsor for this episode, the Official Beer Co. with their new GC Lager. So wax up, paddle out and join us in the Green Room, where the surf chat never goes flat. Today's guest, I believe, is one of the pioneers of surfing. Born in France, Jean-Marie and his brother Francois moved to Australia and have been surfing Burleigh since the early 70s. As a grommet, he had a huge reputation. I knew of Jean-Marie before I even met Jean-Marie. He's part of the furniture at Burleigh and, always was out on the big days, which, for a Frenchman, that's a great achievement. Like our previous guest, Guy Amrod, he always had a little special spot to sit at Burleigh, and not more than once I'd seen that giant red board on the biggest waves dropping down, sometimes on me, but, I was a grommet, I deserved it. And it was the Dick Van Gun, and you know what, it was just... You just ruled those big waves. Not only a surfer, he's an artist, family man, and a Gold Coast local. And you can see him most days down at Burleigh having a bit of a swim. Welcome to the Green Room, Jean-Marie Lartigau.
Hello.
Mate, now, how was it growing up in France as a young man?
Well, I feel quickly, I think starting surfing in Biarritz in 1960, there was in 1960, and through the late 60s, it was the golden age of European surfing. Okay, Biarritz was blessed with waves. We could only basically surf in summertime, which is from June till end of September, and then winter was coming and the water was very cold.
And no wetsuits?
No wetsuits, no leg rope, heavy boards. I feel really privileged and grateful I've been able to live that era, because it was just gold. Yeah,
well, it's like some of the stuff. I've seen that movie, The Innermost Limits of Pure Fun, and I actually showed it to my co-commentator, Lillian Young, and Lily's like 20, and she just saw that and said, that's amazing, there's no way you could ever live that kind of life again, and that's sort of like you in France, in Biarritz.
Yeah. So, and Biarritz was at, the reason why Biarritz was special, because you're talking about a place that's Northern Europe, that's on the same latitude at Quebec, which is bloody cold, right up. But there's a branch of the Gulf Stream, that current that crosses the Atlantic, that loops in the Bay of Biscay. There's that. So the water goes up to 22, 23 degrees in August.
That's like here.
Yeah. And there's also... in Hossegor, which is right in the pocket of the Gulf there's a canyon that's 4,000 meters till about a K of the shore. Yeah. So there's no continental platform that breaks the swells. So all the swells and the storms that come from the North Atlantic, they just move in and jack up. That's why we get big waves. Yeah.
So you basically were straight into big waves?
Not straight into big waves, but there's all sorts of little spots, But in those days, let's say the first 5 years of the 60s, we basically surfed Biarritz, a beach called Côte des Basques, and Grande Plage, which is the other side of the town. Biarritz is a very small town in area, okay? Yeah. And then little by little we started taking little coastal trips, like south of Biarritz towards the French border, the Spanish border, and north towards Hossegor. where we knew about waves. So we were just exploring. You're talking full on exploring.
As young men, you and Francois, how did you actually get into surfing? Like we're talking 1960, probably. America was probably where surfing first kind of took hold. How did you guys hear of it or come to surfing?
Well, what happened? There was a filmmaker called Zanuck. Daryl Zanuck, or his old man, They made a film on a Hemingway novel, okay?
Yeah.
And that guy saw waves in Biarritz and imported some surfboards from America because Biarritz in autumn, if it's a beautiful autumn, it's like fucking California. Sorry about the swearing.
No, it doesn't matter, mate.
Yeah, it's blessed, absolutely gobsmacking beautiful sunsets on the ocean, perfect waves, and so there was a couple of French guys that had seen documentaries on Hawaii and California, like all along the 50s, and they started making their own boards, but they had no clue.
What was this? The balsa boards?
The balsa board and hollow board with plywood and cork decks, chambered, beautifully made, but they were just trying to work out how the board. And then that American came with some hobby balsa boards that were beautiful things. And anyway, so they were surfing in town. There was only, let's say, 10 of them that could learning to surf.
Yeah.
And they were surfing, let's say, a place like Grande Plage, which is a little cove right in Biarritz, the main beach. And François and me were just 9 and 10 or something like that. And every summer we looked at them and watching them and losing their boards, of course. And we picked in boards while they were swimming and pass it back to them, and they were there. And then one day, a guy called Joël de Ronet, who is an Uber legend in France, said to me, "Hey, do you want to come surfing? Come tomorrow. I'll teach you. Come tomorrow, Côte des Basques, which is a beach on the other side where there was a clubhouse. They had a little clubhouse the size of this studio. And I'll put you on the board." And that was it.
You were hooked then too?
Hooked, and that was it. And, you pushed me on little waves like 2 feet high, and I stood up and waxed. In those days, we didn't even have surf wax. We would buy the wax. It was called paraffin, which is paraffin
like candle wax.
Candle wax.
Yeah.
And we had to heat it up to put it on the boards, that sort of stuff. And it started from them, and then they were hooked. But you have to remember that in France, till the very first wetsuits arrived, let's say, late 66, 67, where O'Neill started to come around and stuff like that, there was no rubber. The rubber we used was divers suits, with the yellow tape and the beaver tail.
That'd rash you and like sink in them nearly, wouldn't you?
Yeah, no, they were comfortable, but not for surfing. They were not made for surfing and not to paddle anyway.
Yeah.
So surfing was 3 months of the year, end of June till end of September. We used to surf sometimes at All Saints, that Catholic break in November, where it's a little traditional holiday. And but like half an hour in the surf and nothing, unless it was sunny, that was it.
How long till you and Francois got your own boards?
We got our first board. My old man bought us our first board, which was one of the very first the local board maker made. He too was testing and trying how to make. They were made in 2 shells and blowing the foam inside the 2 shells. So that would have been 62.
62, wow.
I've got pictures at home, but and no stringer. So every time they go in the sand, big fold, Anyway, that was the very first board. My old man bought that from that Bayonne guy called Barlow. Yeah.
And they're from there, mate, because I believe by 66, which is 4 years later, you were representing France in the world titles.
Yeah.
Both you and Francois?
No, just me.
Just you.
Yeah.
I've seen that photo there. You look a fine, dapper young man. Where is it? I've got it here somewhere. I don't know. Well, we'll probably put it up later, but yeah, that's the picture of Jean-Marie as a young man there. That's in the 60s.
Did you read the feel on that?
I didn't get to read it because I just got it. Especially welcome with a national team from France led by their famous champion, Jean-Marie Lartigau. Jean-Marie represented France in the World Championships in San Diego in 66, placing 23rd, proved that he was one of the world's top surfers. His stocky, aggressive surfer from the Basque country, who started surfing at the age of 12, has reigned junior and senior champion in his country since 62.
Yeah.
So you were French champion from 62?
Yeah, till 68.
Wow. That's pretty cool.
And then in 69, my brother beat me on the post.
Was he younger or older brother?
Younger.
Younger. So
very close, like 14 months.
Oh, like me and my brother. Yeah, Robert,
we were very close.
Yeah, that must have been good, though. Like my brother growing up there as like sort of Batman and Robin, you nearly would have been like partners.
We were inseparable.
Yeah.
Almost like twins, like wherever I was, he was there, or vice versa. Yeah.
And how was that 66 World Championships, mate?
Well, that was
would have been an eye opener for you to see all the other surfers.
Fully, it was just I was not I didn't conceive what California was. Okay, I landed in Los Angeles after a trip over the pole,
you went over the pole.
Yeah, that was the shortest way from France in those days. And at the airport, Bing Copeland picked me up and took me to a motel in Huntington Beach.
Yeah.
And Huntington Beach, they still have the petrol pumps going like that. Like thousands of them, and I couldn't believe that. And the motel and the beaches with hundreds of people with the lifeguard stairs and the piers. Yeah. So before the contest, I happened to watch the U.S. championships that David Nuiva won from the bleachers. I still got the ticket from that. And
they sold tickets to the Surfing World Championships.
No, that was free. But for that contest, to go on the pier so you could watch it from
above,
above the break, and see guys like John Beck, Rusty Miller, David Nuiva, whoever was hot was there, And to me, that was just wow. I'm in California. Was at 66. I was 18 years old. It was just a dream,
Yeah.
And then after that, during the contest, we went to San Diego. That's where the contest place was.
Yeah.
Different beaches there. Bing Copeland sponsored me with a board, beautiful Nuiva nose rider, and for some reason I don't want to boast myself, but I had the knack to pick it,
Yeah.
And so in a few days surfing with all these guys, it improved my surfing like that, straight away. And,
when you surf with people that are better than you, makes you surf better, right?
Yeah, exactly. And we'll stay in the motel, and I was sharing a room with Rodney Sumter. Okay, we were given a brand new Camaro Chevrolet
to drive around.
Wow. Each team had one for the contest time. I didn't have a driver's license, so Rodney was driving. He didn't like that because he wanted the boat for blah blah blah.
Yeah.
But and then after that, for another 10 days, I stayed at Hobby Alter's place. Hobby surfboards.
Yeah.
And he was still designing. He was mega house on the beach on poles and mega pad like California does it. And visited places in California. Went to Disney World and all sorts of things like that. And so that was quite an experience. I guess I've never been the same.
And then, the 68 world titles.
Yeah, that was in Puerto Rico.
But I believe that a few of the surfers came to Biarritz before
in
that.
between, because 66, the secret of Biarritz was, there was an article in Surfer Mags and a couple of other American, because surfing in America was already huge, man. You know, those board makers, Bing, Noel, Rick, whatever Jacobs, they made a fortune with making surfboards already. And between 66 and 68, there was the Summer of Love in San Francisco.
67,
66.
Oh, 66, the Summer of Love. Right.
And then he went on to 67.
Did you get to San Francisco when you were
Yeah, full on. And then
a Frenchman in the Summer of Love. Oh,
and then there was in England a mixture of the Summer of Love with Carnaby Street, the Beatles, and the whole alternative lifestyle blending, and of course surfing was at the top of that movement, basically. And that hit Biarritz, because Biarritz was on the way to the special place where you get these special products that
get the hashish.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I suppose the LSD and all that
The LSD we used to get from Biarritz was straight from the good stuff from California.
Oh wow, come from America.
Yeah.
Oh, that would have been an amazing time. That was like I was only 1 year old when all that was going on, but must have been an amazing time. And then not long after that, then came the shortboard revolution.
Yeah, and that came through in late '67.
Yeah,
from Hawaii, because there was already Californian guys and girls from Hawaii that were coming with shorter boards and were shaping kind of short.
So what did, I believe everybody that I've talked to about this has said that surfboards went from one length to another length in about 2 years. So what size did it go to?
In '66, the World Contest in San Diego, all the Californians were riding 9 to 10 foot surfboards. Not 9 foot. 10 foot
10
plus.
10 foot plus.
Riding nose, long turn, long waves.
Yeah.
And Nat had a board, what do you call it? It had a nickname for it, I can't remember. But he cut a foot off.
He cut a foot off it?
Yeah. I don't know if the blank was cut a foot off.
Yeah.
So that was 9 foot. And that was the shortest board in the contest, with really thin rails. And he was ripping on it.
Yeah.
But that was the thing. That was that board that made him win.
It made him the world champion in 66.
Yeah, he was just slashing and carving and bang, bang, that.
The animal.
The animal, exactly, the animal.
Was that, because he just was raw.
Yeah.
Wow. And then, so what was, by the time it got to what, about 69, how big were boards then? 69,
they came down another couple of feet, to 8 foot 6.
Yeah.
And I went on with those big V bottoms.
Yeah.
They were absolute dogs.
Yeah,
but they were the new thing, and you served them.
I've got one of those at home. I've got a Keo shaped by Jeff McCoy.
With that sort of,
with the tiny skinny tail, and
they had those. How do you say it? Chamfered back.
The wrong way.
Yeah, this, and the fin was like this. And
the big long.
And
fin,
you look at them from the back towards the nose. There was this big triangular, flat bit, and it was really long, flexy.
Yeah, that's what. I got one of those. They're so hard to ride.
Yeah, and the really pinched rails.
But I've seen pictures of Wayne Lynch on them. Absolutely.
Yeah, but those guys could surf anything.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, they could surf. This.
So how was those 68 world titles, mate?
That was a different experience. First, everybody was stoned. Except
and on acid too.
probably that was peaking.
Yeah.
It was full on tropical scene.
Yeah, very, very, very warm.
Yeah, very warm. I remember arriving there. We landed in San Juan, in Puerto Rico, at the airport, and we caught a cab to the other side of the island, and we arrived at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, and where our little beach hut was accommodation. There was a band playing Puerto Rican music with timbals, trumpets, rum and coke, and like full on Latino music. 3 o'clock in the morning. Yeah,
3 in the morning. Party didn't stop.
Yeah. So,
how did you go yourself?
Not good. we didn't.
Yeah.
That's
not on the parties. Just
no. The in the contest, you mean?
Yeah.
No, because we didn't have a board. So
right. Yeah.
The French the French board builder was not into us because we were too eccentric. François and I were the first sort of one to have a real contact with the overseas crew, the Yanks and all that, because we could speak a bit of English, and we made an effort to speak English.
Yeah.
So we had the close contact, but those guys were just didn't speak English and was just sitting back and looking at us with long hair.
Yeah.
So anyway, we got to Puerto Rico with no surfboard, so we had to
borrow one.
Borrow a couple, yeah. From guys like Mark Martinson or Billy Hamilton that had been in France that summer.
Yeah.
And that's their boards, But it was a different kind of surf. There was a lot of sea urchins, and there was some big waves, like solid, way overhead.
And of course, no leg ropes or anything.
No leg ropes. No leg ropes. Yeah.
A lot of swimming.
A lot of swimming if you lost your board. Big time.
Well, that's what I noticed in that George Greeno movie again. Like, when they lost their board, you had to be fit, because I saw some of the guys in that movie. They're like they're so fit, they're so ripped. But then I thought, well, nearly how many times in a surf would they have to swim after their board?
Well, surprisingly, if you were a good surfer, you very rarely lost your board. You hang on your board as hard as you can.
And there were a lot of board.
Yeah. You're talking about 10-kilo boards, in the 60s. One of my best boards that I bought from a Californian guy in 64 was 15 kilos.
Wow.
Yeah, but that was a Jacobs. That was one of my all-time boards, and that board had such a glide about it, So you didn't want to lose your board. You couldn't surf at high tide in some spots because of the rocks, that sort of stuff,
Yeah, I suppose that's why no one surfed the cove at Burley for years, I think. Cause of
probably.
Probably. Mate, so it's 68 world titles. So did that start your bug to start travelling other places?
Yeah. Before that, in 67, we went, my brother, myself, and another French guy. I was winning the contest. François was second, and I was the third. This other guy, Jean Colonc, a really good friend of mine, he was always the third, okay?
Yeah.
So in 67, there was this American guy called Dennis Schuyler that contacted me, and he wanted to make a travelogue in Europe, discovering surf spots and stuff like that. So we went from Biarritz and did the whole north coast of Spain, down to Portugal and right down to...
Would have been nobody there surfing,
No, I surf places where, in Portugal, like Figueira da Foz, like Surf City now, they had guys touching us, 2,000 people on the beach, trying to
touch your board and that?
Yeah, carrying the board, and just going around like this. And
so you're the first person to ever surf all those breaks?
No, maybe not, but in Figueira da Foz for sure.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah,
that's a pretty amazing achievement.
But the thing about that movie, it never went out.
Oh, so after all that.
After all that, we never see any footage of it.
Yeah.
It was shown in Santa Barbara, in a Santa Barbara theater in 68.
Yeah.
It was advertised in Surfer magazine, but we never saw a foot of it except a couple of stills that were sent to us.
Yeah, wow. But still, you had it all in your mind, mate, surfing all
Yeah,
those waves.
and those days,
discovering it.
no leash,
Yeah.
no forecast, no maps.
Just drive along the coast
Just,
and go,
yeah,
"Oh."
there's wave there, bang, yeah.
And did you name any of them?
No,
No.
I did not.
No.
No, I didn't probably think of it, yeah.
Just thought, yeah, this is
In
where it
Morocco, there was a couple of surfers in a place called Kenitra, but they were from an American thing called the Peace Corps.
Oh, right. So because of all the war and that, a lot of Americans were still around.
Yeah.
Peacekeeping or whatever.
No, it was not that. It was, I think it was called the Peace Corps. It was like a, how can I say, not an army thing, but, and there was a little base or something, and they had a couple of sailboats, but, we were running circles around there. So, and in the early 60s, like let's say from early 60 till mid 65, 66, it was starting to be on the radar. But there was all these guys that were coming from the American bases, even Hawaiian dudes. They were full of money.
Yeah.
And so the article in Surfer magazine and zap down from Germany to France and come there for a leave or something like that and go back to their base,
And that's where people would have seen more surfing as well.
Yeah.
So, mate, you've done Europe. What started you and Francois to head to Australia?
Well,
or is there something before that?
In 68, Biarritz was already a
surfing kind of hub, was it?
A hub, European hub where you had to be. The Pommies from England, from Jersey, and Cornwall used to come there. So the Australians, the Americans, and we had, it was a period of not turmoil but revolution. All the conventions were broken. Long hair, different view of life and consciousness.
And of course, Vietnam was going.
Vietnam was so there was a lot of also Vietnam guys that didn't want to be
draft dodgers. Yeah,
draft dodgers. They used to come there and lots of this and that. Yeah, and Biarritz is a very bourgeois town, very conservative, and very good.
And so long-haired hippie
So
surfers would have been looked very down upon. They were probably told to get lost.
We just wanted to see the world,
Yeah.
And because my dad was in the military, I did my national service after dropping out.
Because every Frenchman has to do national service, is that correct?
In those days, yeah.
So how long you got to do, a year?
12 months. 12 months.
12 months, yeah.
So, because, and then through my dad, I had, push to go wherever I wanted. Yeah. So I got drafted and went to New Caledonia.
So you surf in New Caledonia?
No surf. No. I could see the surf on the horizon because there is surf there, but it's like 30 k's out.
Yeah.
You had to be on the hill to see a fringe of waves right on. There's a pass there that's apparently really good, but anyway, there was no surfers. There was no surfboard. Nobody knew about surfing. Yeah. But I knew people like Nat, Wayne Lynch, and a few other people, and I got not liberated. I finished my service there, and then I came to Australia because the year before, in '69, in France, there was a couple of those guys that we became really close friends with, a guy called Algie Grad and a shaper called John Brown, and they always used to say, don't go to America. They knew they would want to travel. Don't go to California. Come to Australia. Right-hand points galore. Because in those days, surfing, point surf was the thing.
Because of the longer boards, I suppose.
Longer boards and that's what it was. No air, no slash and bam and destroy and all that came in the 80s.
Yeah.
So, I remember that guy, that good mate of mine, passed away a few years ago, Algie Grad. I can't see him. And he was a friend of McTavish and Hayden in Noosa and Greeno. And so, Greeno, that's where the movie Greeno...
Innermost Limits of Pure Fun.
Came out. And I can see him smoking his Marlboros, drinking a coffee at the terrace there and showing his... Greeno makes those fins. They're like a tuna tail, That's where he got the...
So a tuna tail, that's where he got it from. I thought it was a dolphin, but tuna tail.
No, tuna.
Ah. And that's basically the template of all modern fins now, isn't it?
Basically, yeah. Basically, except when they're more stubby.
Yeah.
They were just, what would I say? Waterfalls, sea forests, like water shapes, like fins of a fast fish, whether it's a tuna or a mackerel. They got these long fins and pectoral that have like that,
Yeah, and so from New Caledonia, you ended up going to Australia, did you? That's
landed in Sydney, hanged around. I don't know. Nat was in Byron Bay, so I just wanted to sit down and.
So what beach did you surf mostly around Sydney?
I didn't surf then because I didn't have a surfboard. I was hanging in the cross for a couple of weeks to get my bearings, and I was getting mail at Post Restaurant and stuff like that. And then I grabbed my backpack and hitchhiked to Byron Bay.
One of the first backpackers, mate.
Yeah, and hitchhiked to Byron Bay. Nat was his missus had his first kid, couldn't have me, so I moved into another place with Rusty Miller and Garth Murphy, and then some other things happened. And then I moved to Noosa.
Another right-hand point. The land.
My mate Algie came to pick me up in Byron and said, come and stay with me in Noosa. And, I arrived at 3 o'clock in the morning with in this car with this friend of mine. And we backed up in the woods, up the hill like this, just at dawn.
Which are the blocks now are probably about $5-10 million where you probably are.
And we parked there, and Noosa just at dawn, and Noosa was just fucking cranking. I didn't know tea tree or anything. I just could see Main Beach.
You could see Main Beach and Nationals.
And Nationals from there, and it was just.
Anybody out?
Yeah, a few people, but nothing much. And then I discovered Tea Tree, Granite Bay, and I lived there for about 3 years, making leather work and working as little as possible, but
surfing as much as you can.
And I met my first wife. That's another story.
Yeah. And so from there, where did you go after that?
After 3 years there, jobs were getting scarce in the off season and no surf.
Yeah.
It was a flat year, and the people, the crew I was hanging with said, "Oh, we're going back to Sydney." So I went to Sydney and lived in Avalon and Well Beach.
Oh, that's a nice little spot.
For about 6 years or 7 years.
Yeah.
Surfed the Wedge and Avalon all the time. I don't think I ever surfed. Yeah, I surfed Newport Reef a couple of times. Narrabeen once, but mainly Avalon, Well Beach, the Wedge, and Palm Beach towards Barrenjoey. Yeah.
And how did you from there transport to the Gold Coast, mate? Because I always remember you straight from Burleigh. That's like.
Oh, right. Hang on. I went to France after I stayed in Australia for 10 years. I didn't go home for 10 years.
Yeah.
So I went to France for to see my mom and realized that the break had been done. France was in the past.
Yeah.
Beside all my friends and the connections and my roots and
Yeah.
all that, after 3 weeks there, all I wanted to do is come back here. Okay. And I had met a girlfriend who I was madly in love, blah, blah, blah. And I came back for her, fuck off. And then François was already living on the Gold Coast.
Yeah.
He arrived in Australia after me, but he was on the Gold Coast. He said, come up to Burley. And I got a flat next door to him at Cockroach Court in Miami, on the Marine Parade.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know Cockroach Court?
No, Cockroach Court. No, I've heard of it. But
It's 26 Marine Parade.
Oh, right. And that was just a bunch of flats? That were...
Yeah, a bunch of flats. There was one of those fibre double flat, pale green with a staircase, rotten staircase.
Yeah.
Oops, sorry. And the beach just there, And, and then blah, blah, blah.
Well, you haven't moved far because I know you live just about probably a kilometre or two from there,
not
mate.
Even, not even that.
Far.
Not even that. After that, I lived in Evandale. I met my girlfriend, Sally.
Yeah.
And then we lived in Evandale Crescent for 25 years. And then moved to June Court, another 25 years. And now live at Varsity.
Oh, mate, that's... But, so you've got here and obviously you've hooked up with the... I would say back in the day, he was like the apex shaper. That was Dick Van Stralen.
Yeah.
And that was your big red board. That was a Dick Van, or you probably had numerous red boards. Was your red board, you think?
I had a rooster red.
Red
Rooster.
Yeah.
And, maybe a few boards. Dick was convenient, I suppose. And I like his board. Not always some of them are not that good, but a lot of them were good. I had them for a good price, so and it turned into a good buddy. Like he was a good friend. Yeah.
As a Frenchman, how was it fitting in at Burley? Because was Burley still like that was kind of the days where there was a kind of a lot of angry people that surfed there too.
Yes, I had to assert myself.
Did you? Was Francois with you? Was it two of yous or?
For a little while, and then he went back to France because my mum was getting old, and he never came back. But most of the time I was on my own during the early 80s. Yeah.
And so there was a pretty heavy crew at Burley in the early 70s.
You're telling me.
Yeah. And there was the heroin too, I suppose, as well.
Yeah, but that was actually the heroin was in the late 70s.
Yeah.
And early 80s it's already was sort of fading away, and
probably the people who had it who were on it for
a couple of them died, like Norts and and you see them around again.
So how did you, like you said, you asserted your authority at Burley? Did you just hold your ground and take your waves? Is that what you did?
Yeah, I didn't have any choice, because when I started surfing, there was a sort of an etiquette, you respect the older guys.
Yep.
Well,
I always did.
Yeah, don't drop in if you cannot. But there is a limit of that rule, like when you stay waiting for your turn for 25 minutes and all the groms going around and around and around.
Yeah, I know that one.
Yeah, my turn, please. Thank you.
That was probably me, one of those grommets inside you a few times, I bet.
Yeah. I had issues like that a couple of times, especially at Rainbow Bay.
Rainbow Bay,
yeah, all right.
All those up-and-comers, mate. But I know that you owned your place in the lineup. I know that. Like, as a kid, I don't think I got a wave without being dropped in until I was about 16. But, like, at Burley, you sort of knew who was who in the zoo when you were there. And you were one of those guys that I knew that you owned your spot, and you're still. And I was saying that you used to sit in the same spot like where Guy Omered and I sit sometimes. There's a little bit out in the middle of the cove
in
there.
a bit of that point there,
yeah, just a bit wider for the big ones.
Yeah. Well, that's my opinion. When you go surfing, you go surfing for good waves.
Yeah.
You don't go on the inside and grovel for the in between and
you wait.
Yeah, I like to wait.
Me too.
And get the good ones.
And
you go there to catch waves.
Yeah.
You don't go there to wait and watch the crew going past.
Yeah. Yeah, well, see, that era was like when Burleigh, like, it had a big reputation around. Still, kind of still does, but like that the Burleigh crew were pretty heavy, and if you went there, you had to behave yourself. Yeah.
Like in my books now, there's no locals anymore. With since let's say
too many people.
Yeah, since 2000. Let's say 2000 to put a date on it, and the internet and all that. People say, Burleigh is good, Snapper good, Caribbean is good. And then the planes, and then all that.
Yeah.
They're all there within 24 hours.
Yeah, when it's really pumping.
Yeah. And it's like that all over the world. So there's no locals, there are locals, but they're sort of lost in the masses,
Yeah. And now, mate, I've got some of your artworks we've got around here. When did you start getting into painting?
I painted since I was a kid.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, drawing or painting. And then I went to fine art school at uni.
At university? So you did art all through your life?
Yeah, I went in a place called Rennes, which is a university town, but way away from Biarritz. And, I did a couple of years there. And I dropped that. Because I wanted to go surfing.
Yeah.
But I got my basics,
Yeah. And mate, that's one they were telling us about, that one behind you, the big red board, or what do you call it again?
Fat boy.
And you got different versions of that.
Yeah.
How many of them did you say you got?
Oh, about 35 or so.
Yeah.
They're all over the place.
And what's the background on that?
Well, I went to a surf festival in Biarritz in 93. I was invited, and there was a whole crew of Hawaiians, and particularly the big hefty ones from Makaha, and 120 kilos, 30 kilo characters. And they had particularly the one up to, I can't remember his name. He was a garbo at Makaha, but there was a grace about him. They had this sense of using the bulk and to weight and counterweight the surfboard with grace and fluidity. So I thought, I did one or two. Do you know Long John?
Yeah.
He got the first couple of ones, and then I developed the character. He became a bit more. The first ones were pretty basic. And then I got that sort of style with they have the same board shorts with the yellow flares, the red board. I made them blonde. I mean, with a beard. They surf pipeline. They do air. They ride the nose. They get in the tube.
Oh, that's cool. And so you've done, 35 of them, you said?
Yeah.
Wow.
There's one of them. I don't know if you know that real estate agent, Scott Wagner.
Oh, yeah, I know the name, yeah.
He's got a shop at Palm Beach, and he's got one in there. And it's a fucking big...
So you're still making more of them?
Well, I don't have a studio anymore, so I only have a little nook in my apartment where I can do little thing. I changed my... Doesn't matter, I'm still doing little.
You're still around. I see you at Burleigh every morning, mate.
That's my therapy.
Swimming, yeah. Because you were telling me once your shoulders... I
had issues. I had 2 pulmonary embolies, which is a clots in the lungs.
Yeah.
Then I had prostate cancer.
Yeah.
And all that combined...
Because how old are you now, Jean-Marie?
I'm 77.
77?
Yeah.
Wow, you get around pretty good for a bloke who's 77, mate.
I had enough I was starting to struggle, like paddling out, barely, no comment. I didn't like being pummeled for 10, 15 waves and then try to recover for another 20 minutes to catch 2 or 3 waves and come in.
Yeah.
Beside, the crowds were driving me crazy.
Yeah, I could imagine. Yeah, mate, yeah.
So little by little, it's sort of...
so now you have your swim.
I have my swim. Yeah. And then that emboli in the lungs cut my breathing, like hacked me. Yeah. So I was panting to walk 10 meters. So, and then I rationalized it. Matt, you had your 60 years
mate,
of it.
You had some pretty damn good times, mate. First person to be surfing around Europe and all that.
I had the golden days.
Yeah, well, that's what that friend of mine, Lillian, said. You can never recreate those days. Nowhere now.
No.
And just that you did it, basically, this is what she said to me, that these people were doing it for the love of surfing, not for anything
that's for
else.
Me. That's what I wanted to stress. Yeah. Surfing, before it even got professional, was a pleasure. Yeah. Pleasure plus. Immense pleasure. The best pleasure you're going to... Last snow skiing, but better. You know, board shorts, sun, etc., water. Because I started swimming before I could walk, you know. Yeah. And as soon as it started to be a stress and trying to convince yourself you must go, and you drive past the point and you say, nah.
But I bet you still love watching it when it's pumping.
I watch it all the time. I'm a very good observer.
Yeah.
Very good observer.
Well, that's good, mate. And tell you what, Jean-Marie, what a life well lived. I'm so glad I've got you on the green room to talk about this, because I learned stuff I didn't know, and I've known the man probably 50 years, well, maybe 45 years or so. I'm only 60, but but mate, it is a pleasure to have you on the green room, and thanks for coming in, mate.
Yeah, pleasure to do that, because I feel like I've got a story to tell, and you're the very first. I mean, I had a few interviews in papers, but it's the first time I can talk about it, with my voice and express myself and tell it what it was like,
Yeah, and it's amazing, all that stuff, mate. I didn't realise that you actually, you went to all those places in Spain and Portugal and that before anybody has, and that's an amazing thing. And when I messaged Andrew Mack and he goes, "Wow, what a great call, mate." So I'm stoked to have you on here. Thanks, Jean-Marie, and
pleasure, mate.
I'll catch you in the waves.
Yeah, catch you at the office.
Thanks for tuning into the Green Room. Hey, folks, would you like to get your name in the Green Room podcast? Well, we are looking for sponsors, so if you want to get a sponsorship, check it out at Podfire. Lots of people can hear about your product on one of the best podcasts around the Green Room, so check it out, Podfire. Thanks for tuning into the Green Room. A big thank you to our guests for sharing their stories and insights, and Podfire for bringing this podcast to life. Don't forget to subscribe, like, leave a review, and share the Green Room with your friends. We'll catch you next time for more conversations with the legends of surf and beyond. Until then, catch you in the waves.